Hello to everyone. Today we are going to solve the question from Codechef, which is the second one at beginner level, which is enormous input test. Let us solve this question in Python language. And in order to solve this question, let us read the question once and understand it. The question is like this. The purpose of this problem is to verify whether the method you are using to read input data is sufficiently fast to handle problems branded with the enormous input or output warning. You are expected to be able to process at least 2.5 MB of input data per second at runtime. The question is pretty simple, guys. It is asking about the processing of input. That means how fast your input is getting processed when the user is giving input to you. Okay. And he's also saying that you need to process at least 2.5 MB of input data per second at runtime. Okay. What is input then? The input begins with two positive integers n and k, where the k should be less than or equal to 10 power 7. And for each and every n line, you need to take one input that is nothing but a positive integer ti, and it shouldn't exceed 10 power 9. Okay. Then what about output? The output will be the single integer to output, denoting how many integers ti are divisible by k. Okay, you can understand this by reading an example. Let us understand the example as well. In example, there is an input which is 7 and 3. This 7 is nothing but n and 3 is k. For 7, there are 7 lines. For each n line, you are giving ti as input, where in first line t1 is 1, t2 is 51, and t3 is 9663669, and so on up to 7 lines. You need to take an integer ti, which is nothing but a positive integer, and then if any of these numbers are divisible by 3, then you need to display the output how many numbers are getting divisible by 3, where 3 is nothing but k. And by this you can understand how fast your input is getting processed. So this is the actual question. So let us solve this by clicking on submit. So after clicking on submit, you will get an IDE opened in website, and after going into it, choose the language. I am choosing Python 3.6. After getting chosen, then let's get started. You need two inputs, right? N and k. So n and k will take as input by using map method, where map method is used to take multiple inputs at a time, and the data type will give us integer, and by using input method we'll take input dot split. By using split, we can separate the input and assign to their corresponding variables. Okay, we have taken input, and for each n line you need to take the input ti, right? So while I'm using while loop, n not equal to 0, what you'll do while n not equal to 0, you'll take input ti, right? So let the variable be t. So t equal to int of input. Okay. After taking t, you should check whether the t is divisible by k or not. So if t mod k is 0, then what are you going to do? You are going to increment the count. Then where is count? You need to initialize the count with 0. So let me complete this instruction and then initialize. So where are we going to initialize? Here we are going to initialize count. Initially will be 0. Okay, and if t mod k equal to 0, then count will get incremented by 1, and this loop will continue until n becomes 0. So we also decrement n by 1. Okay, and now we need to come out of the loop and we need to print the count. Okay, done with coding. Now let us give custom input and let us submit the code. Given the code by copying it from question and paste it here so that the time will be saved. Yeah, this is the way we are going to write the code. Let me check. Yeah, we'll get the output 4 after copying it from question and pasting it here as expected. And after getting the output, it's time for submit. Then click on submit button. Yes, Codechef will ask you, confirms you to whether it's okay or not. Then click on OK. It'll take a little time to process, and then if there are any kind of errors, then try to get it. Yeah, the code is correct.